2, 1. All right, we're on. All right, Shop Class Podcast. We got Tae from Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. This is the the charity arm of Harbor Freight. It's funny because now I go to Harbor Freight for a lot of stuff, and I used to not, and then I thought to myself, I didn't want to buy stuff from them. I wanted to try and buy this American thing or whatever. But like even the American stuff's made where in different foreign parts and this and that. And then I found out they were giving all this money to shop teachers and American shops, like US high school programs, and directly, not like sideways or maybe like some weird grant that might work or not. No, they are actually putting money in the hands of the shop teachers so they could buy equipment and buy whatever they need to make their programs better. That's I am so excited about this, and a couple years running now. So anyway, so this is Tae right here, and he represents Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. So welcome to the show.
Ron, thank you so much for that warm and enthusiastic introduction. Really, really appreciate it. It's great to be with you all here today. My name is Tae Kang. I am the program manager of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, which is a philanthropic initiative of the Smith Foundation, founded by Harbor Freight Tools owner and founder Eric Smith. So we're part of his family foundation, and not part of the company per se, even though both are founded by him. All right. So the website that Ron has in front of you is actually the company charitable giving site, not Harbor Freight Tools for Schools specific site. Ron, I put the link in the chat. So if you want to,
let me go there.
If you want to learn more about us specifically, you can visit us at harborfreighttoolsforschools.org. Right. Ron's
That's much better.
Here. So yeah, harborfreighttoolsforschools.org. So
I like that.
I'm here to talk to you today about our annual prize for teaching excellence, where we donate more than $1 million to 18 outstanding skilled trades teachers and programs across the country. This is our 5th year of the prize for teaching excellence, and we are once again excited to be supporting 18 outstanding skilled trades teachers, where 3 grand prize winners will each receive $100,000, with $70,000 going towards their skilled trades program and $30,000 going towards their own pocket. And we also award 15 prize winners, where they will each receive $50,000, with $35,000 going towards their program and $15,000 going towards their pocket. So what's great about these funds is that by splitting it this way, we make sure that the classrooms are supported, and we make sure with the schools and districts that the funds are used for your specific skilled trades program, that they can't be used for like the football bleachers, or they can't be used for textbooks for the English program. Even though those are really worthwhile programs, we want to make sure that your classroom gets the equipment and tools and materials that they need. And then
I have to interrupt. Let me tell you, that is a very important detail. I've been through the grant process several times, and I don't mind writing the narrative as so they speak. But if it's not specific to your program, that money will go into a general fund, and you might not see it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we want to hear your teaching experience, your background, your voices, and learn about your classrooms, and we want to invest and support those. So the funds go to that, and then the individual funds, right? If your school and district and state policies are okay with you receiving individual prize funds, you can use that funds for whatever you wish. If you want to go on a vacation with your family, or if you want to, pay for your mortgage, or your car, or whatever you want to use it for, it's completely open to you for that. And then, so this is our 5th year of the prize. We're really excited. And Ron, thanks so much for having me here today, but I'm happy to answer any of the questions you have, or any of the questions teachers may have.
Okay. Yeah. So sure, we could get to the questions in a sec, but what I wanted to go over was that there's an application process that all the teachers that went through this, it's a pretty serious one as far as you have to explain your program well. And what Barbercheck said about this is that whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a very actually good reflection tool on your own career anyway. Now, I haven't done it yet. Has anybody here gone through the application process yet? Okay, Matt and Nick. All right, and Jared. We got raising hands. I'm not used to raising hands. People just shout out usually. That's a little bit too calm for me. Just be like, yeah. Matt, tell us about the process, or Matt or Nick
Sure.
or Jared, just tell us the process.
Yeah, Ron, as you mentioned, our application process is meant to spotlight and shine a light on excellent skilled trades teachers. We know that there's so many of them across the country, and we want to lift them up. But it is intended to be a rigorous written application process. We ask like the round one application consists of like 9 written questions, where you get to, in many ways, brag about yourself, brag about your program, and tell us about what you're doing, and tell us about the impact you make in your students' lives, inside and outside the classroom. We would love to hear about the kind of career pathways you help lead them to, the graduation rates you help foster. You want to, what extracurriculars you help encourage or support. So again, we want to hear about all the amazing things you're doing, and our application process is intended for that. It's the more specific, the more the more you write, the more you share with our judges, the clearer the picture we get in terms of what's going on in your program and in your community. But in addition to hearing about the amazing things you're doing, we are also looking for innovative skilled trades teachers, right? People who are forward thinking, who are futuristic thinking, who are willing to adapt and learn and improve their programs. So we invite all the applicants to watch a video and read a reading on a learning module of just some of the best practices that can be implemented in your skilled trades classroom today. So we will ask you to watch a short video and read a short reading, and then learn about some of the best practices and how you can apply it for your own program. So in many ways, yeah, Rod, click that link at the top that says the prize. If you want to click that link, it kind of has like an overall summary here, right? So again, we're awarding more than $1 million. We have 3 grand prize winners of 15 prize winners, right? If you scroll a little bit further, you can see that these are the types of trades that we support, right? Anything from agriculture mechanics to carpentry to construction, electrical, welding, automotive, plumbing, right? HVAC, right? Those are the types of trades we support.
I fit in the other category, so
if you have an other, then feel free to reach out to. There's an email there. Feel free to reach out to us, and we can help clarify the types of program if you're eligible or not. And if you scroll a little bit further, you can see what types of things our judges are looking for, right? Like strong evidence of past teaching success, but also future innovation and entrepreneurship. We're looking for a rigorous and thoughtful application, right? Like any teacher can write, I love my students, or we're doing great things, but we're looking for specific things that you're doing and that make you unique. What types of projects are you working on? What types of curriculum do you implement? So those are some things. And then positive data and results, like what are the graduation rates? What are your, the number of students who are, who are female, right, in your classroom, right? We're looking for actual data and results, but also inspirational storytelling. If you've helped a student, navigate difficulties in their lives, please let us know about that. Share that with us, right? Like, or if you've helped them, find their passion in life, tell us about that. Or if alums come back and tell you you were the best teacher we've ever had, and here's why, like, let us know about that. That's what we're looking for in our applications. Teachers communicate.
I like that you said data. I started doing exit surveys that are anonymous and very clearly anonymous. And then I share the results with the students who filled it out. And you could see that it's a great reflection. But what I find is that most schools and including teachers, they don't do the exit surveys and they don't have any data. So you actually don't know the impact you had. I mean, just anecdotal. But if you want
Sure.
numbers, you gotta give an exit survey, which you could do on Google Classroom. A Google form is an
Or
exit survey.
SurveyMonkey, yeah, or
Yeah,
SurveyMonkey,
yeah.
or other platforms. I don't want to. I'm
Yeah.
not a marketer for SurveyMonkey
No,
or
it's
anything.
just that Google is usually part of the Google Classroom,
Sure,
so it's usually approved already. Or yeah, I see what you're
absolutely.
saying. Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we had
whatever platform is good for you.
yeah,
Like,
I think we had some hand raising, but you guys don't need to raise your hand. You could just be like, "Hey, hey." So, Cornitzer, did you want to ask something?
Yeah, I
sure.
was wondering. So, with the whole application process, instead of writing an essay, could you actually do a video like how MIT does their interviews or applications? And so if you have a student come and give like an innovative story or showing how you motivated them, or even the program. Like I know me and Ron, we work in the same STEAM program that we actually all started together, and like we make videos to show our program and to show what we do, and the improvements and success that within the year or so, or past couple of years. So instead of writing essays, would we be able to do a video? Because I've always felt like a picture always says a picture shows a thousand
Thousand
Oh,
words or
words.
whatever.
sure.
But so
David, that's a great question. We've actually gotten that pretty much all 5 years of operating this prize, and it's a really great question. It's a really thoughtful question, and it's one we debate and consider a lot. We find that the written application has several benefits. Number one, it allows teachers to think, right, and like reflect and be able to put down on, quote unquote paper what they're doing in their program, and they can utilize that for many other things. It also is good for the judges, right? Because our judges, they can go back. It helps our judging process to have a written application. And then another thing is, some of our teachers, some skilled trades teachers are really good with technology. Others may struggle with that, right? And we find that some applicants, may be deterred if they have to do a video process because they're not like, I'm not Steven Spielberg, I'm not Christopher Nolan, I'm not J.J. Abrams. How am I expected to create or edit an amazing video? That's harder for me, or maybe take more time. So we find that the applicate, like we've been considering maybe one question be a video question, all right? That's something that we consider a lot, and that's a suggestion we've received.
yeah, just because like, have you ever seen Ron write anything? It's atrocious. But he is animated and he shows like the heart behind our program.
Sure.
If you give him a microphone, he'll blow you away.
Sure,
But ask him to write an essay. It's a joke.
I can't comment on Ron's writing abilities. I can't comment on Ron. I can't say Ron's enthusiasm.
I will surprise you with my writing abilities. But no, I get totally. I understand what you're saying, because like we're doing the Shell Eco Marathon right now, and they want a 7-minute video. Now,
Sure.
Oh my God, that is, I'll be honest, like I love editing and making videos, but it is an extra step. And the kids right now, because of remote, it's difficult to get them to do this. So I'm going to have to edit it, and we got to do it quick, but if it was just photographs and writing, it would have been done. So I do agree that it is an extra step, but sometimes that step comes natural to some people. So that's a good debate. I understand. Yeah.
No, David,
that's a good question. That was a good question, David.
It's a great question. It's something we've considered. It's something we debate a lot, but we think that this written application allows teachers to reflect, especially on the learning module element, to really reflect on how their classroom and how they can implement best practices, as well as brag about their classroom through this medium. So it's a great question. Happy to
now. I have a thing I've always thought of about this is, can I read the previous winners' applications?
Sure. So,
but not privately. Is that publicly available, or is it like, what am I looking at here? Is this just a summary?
So these, what you're looking at here is the bios of some of our previous winners. These bios are actually pull together through the applications themselves. So when people do ask, like, can I see the previous winners' applications, we do direct them to these bios. Also at harborfreighttoolsforschools.org, under our prize page for each year, we have the bios for each of our winners, right? So you can see what they wrote about in their application, what they applied about.
Where do you go to for that? We could go there now?
Sure. Yeah, you can go there now. Here, hold on. Let me send this to you.
Oh, this is awesome. We're digging in right here.
So,
because I'm on previous winners, but I'm not on.
Yeah, so there's previous winners. There's 3 of our winners from 2020. But if you're looking for more bios, you can go here. I'll include the link in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you want to share that link right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll pull it up.
Oh, yeah. If you scroll down a little bit, and then you can click each of our winners' photos, and then you can read their bios, and then you can see what they talked about in their application, right? What are some things they highlighted? Like, what are some of the projects they talked about? What are some of their educational pursuits, right? Brian Manley here is, where did he go to school? Where is he, what degrees is he pursuing, right? How long has he been teaching for? What are some other organizations that he's involved in? So you can see all of this in their bios and what they've talked about in their application.
Yeah, that's cool. That's real cool. It's a great community. What I really like about what you've done is it's not just handed out awards. You're supporting a community. Whereas I got to tell you, there was a gap right there. I mean, every state has a supporting. The way I got the job was through the supporting, what they call the New Jersey Technology Engineering and Education Association, something like that. And they change the acronym every year, but they're amazing. Sure. But there is a gap between all the teachers. And so when you're teaching like in a silo and you're kind of like, you maybe, honestly, before Instagram, you were sort of teaching by yourself. Sure. Because there was maybe 1 or 2 other shop teachers in the building. I mean, it depends. Some places have like 10 shop teachers. That's like a rare thing. So Instagram and this Harbor Freight and what we're trying to do here with the Shop Class podcast is to connect the dots so everybody could take notes from each other and learn, and then share resources like, hey, what did you do in this situation? Or did you ever do this? Like, I still can't get over that Matt builds a house every year. Like, we struggle to build a car every year, and that's inside.
Sure. So yeah, Ron, I think that's a great point. Like, skilled trades teachers are often siloed or often put in the, the back of the school building or, in your own corner. And, what we're trying to do here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, right, is one, shine a light on the excellent hard work that these skilled trades teachers do on a daily basis. But also, we bring these prize winners together, right? This isn't just, as you mentioned, a one and done. We don't just give the money and then say, okay, great, have a great rest of your career.
Right. Don't you invite them to a conference?
Yeah. So what we do is we bring them together as a network and a community. In the summers before COVID, we would bring them together to Los Angeles for an institute called Let's Build It, where we invite all the prize winners to meet each other, to hang out, to have dinner together, but also to put them to work, by having them discuss the best practices in the field, to help them develop pilot projects, for them to, share best practices with each other, right? And during this pandemic, what we've done is, we know that there's a great need for community, and we brought people together virtually for webinars and for, just to catch up here and there. All right, much like what you all are doing, and I want to commend you all for, starting this community here. I think it's really, really awesome. And we're actually going to be hosting a large virtual webinar in early May. Feel free to join. We'll share more information about that. But if you go to Harbor Freight Tools for Schools and join us, right? I'll send the link in the chat here. If you go to this, you can join our email network and get first updates about our various learning opportunities, about various projects, and also updates on our prize as well. So yeah, like I want to commend you all for being here and having this community. We have our network as well, and we just think that the more bridge building and the spotlighting we can do on the great work you all do, the better it is for
everyone. Here we go. You could sign up.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm probably on there because I do get some updates, but that's awesome.
Good. For sure.
Who's this gang? Look at these people. I think I know this guy. He's popped in the podcast a few times.
Yeah, he's this is a team of really dedicated, hardworking individuals who are really
good looking guy right here.
Passionate about the trades. So I can't comment on anyone's appearance, but we did try to do a fashionable photo shoot here. So
that's good. That's good. That's cool. So, and look, you got all these different outlets, and you're on Instagram. Oh, you have YouTube now? Let's see.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I got to join
and
that.
On our YouTube channel, we have, the learning module videos of the past, right? Regarding various topics, right? Like how to best teach soft skills for skilled trade students, right? Or share talking about the benefits, the career and job benefits of the trades. How to talk about that. Or
look, we got to play this one. Let's play a video real quick. Oh, we got sponsors here. Hold on.
Ron, you gotta share your screen.
Oh, it's not sharing?
Nah.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot.
A little bit. That's all right.
All right, can you see this? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Strongly that skilled trades teachers are heroes who just don't get enough recognition for their hard work and dedication.
We try to keep it surprised as long as you can. Once he sees what we've got here, he'll know something big's going on. It should be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Dr. Newman, he's getting a really big prize today.
Oh, these are like surprising the winners, right?
No idea what's going on.
Yeah, this is a video announcing the 18 winners from 2018, right? But we do 18 surprise announcements.
That's cool.
Last year, obviously, we couldn't go to many schools in person, but for the 2017 and 2019 prizes, we planned surprise celebrations for each of the schools, or each of the winners, and we hope to do that for this year and in 2021 and hopefully beyond. Nice.
This guy's from Cars for Careers, I think. I remember this guy. He they build up, they take cars and then they oh wait, no, this is a different guy. Okay, he looked like the other guy. But anyway, yeah, some of these teachers do amazing work. Look at this. This is so cool. Imagine you walk into work and you win one of the prizes. Look, this guy has no reaction. That's really funny. But yeah, he's clearly got a good program. Yeah, he's humbled. He's humbled. That's cool.
Has anyone ever won from like a public school? Like not a trade
So
school?
Yeah, Dave, that's a great question. All the awards go to public high schools. I don't know if I made that clear earlier, but the 18 this prize is only eligible for U.S. public high school skilled trades teachers. Yeah, definitely. We've had winners from comprehensive high schools. We've had winners from CTE centers. We've had winners from charter schools, right? Like Matt Barbercheck, right? He teaches at a public comprehensive school that's, I believe, K through 12 because his community, but he teaches high school students. So yeah, the prize is eligible for public high school skilled trades teachers. And whether you're a charter school teacher or a CTE center, district CTE center, or a comprehensive high school, it's open to you.
That's cool. That's really cool. Now, I'm sorry. Did you have a question or someone else raise their hand before, but I didn't get to them? Was that Jared? No. Okay. Yeah. So this is cool. I'll be honest. I haven't applied. I'm gonna give it a shot this year. And so we got till the May 21st?
Yeah, so applications are due May 21st, right?
Okay.
So you have a little over a month to submit your application. What I encourage you doing is don't finish it in one day, right? Like the more time you take on it, the more time you reflect on it, the better I would say your application's going to be, right? Spend some time writing, to spend some time reflecting, go on a walk, ask other people to maybe read your application, not to write it for you, but to, check for grammar or or they might remind you, be like, hey, what about that thing you did that you told me about, right? Like, feel free to, share that, share about your experience in a really full and meaningful way. So yeah, I would say don't just do it in a day. Don't do it in just a week. Take some time to work on the application and submit it. Again,
Nice.
it's a rigorous process, and we're looking for the best, right? So that's why we're giving $1 million out, and we want to make sure we spotlight and shine a light on the 18 of the best teachers across the country.
And did Jared, you raise your hand this
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah, I did, because that Tay brought up a good point. The first year, 5 years ago, I was my first time applying. I've applied, I think, 2 or 3 times. It's a very arduous process. These essays, for me, at least, put a lot of thought into them. Well, the first year that they did this, I had a bunch of my friends who were like, "Hey, you're a shop teacher. You do this. You do a good job." And so I'm like, "Yeah, okay, all right." And I put it off, and I put it off, and I put off. I didn't even open the whole thing until the day it was due. And I opened it, and I was like, "Oh, good gravy." I'm like, "Well, I got this." So I put a bunch of, I think I filled it out on my phone. And it was so bad, I'm embarrassed that I did it that way. I learned a whole lot, obviously, but it's something you do have to give some time to, some thought to, some reflection. Definitely have people proofread it, because, like I said, my first year I submitted it was done on my phone with the swipe texting and probably 0 autocorrects. It was probably really bad, and that's probably, maybe I've been blacklisted since then. I don't know, but it was.
You definitely weren't. You're not blacklisted. Definitely not. Just be clear about that. You're not. You haven't been blacklisted. But yeah, I appreciate your
now maybe
your transparency with the experience. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was my own fault, because again, I waited until the last day. I thought it was just like, oh, submit your information and then whatever. I didn't realize the application was. I think you kind of go through about 7 essays, essentially, and they're only like 300 or 500 words. They're not super big, but you wanted to, at least in my mind, when I saw it go, and then the next 2 times I applied, I gave myself plenty of time. I collaborated. I made sure that they had my essays proofread. They were more polished than that first time, but yeah, it was my own fault. I'm not putting that on Harbor Freight at all for their. I think the process is done. I just think that the first time I just kind of, well, whatever. Yeah, I'll put my name in it. And I was like, oh boy, I did not give myself enough time. But yeah, I think as long as you give yourself, like I said, that time to reflect and to make sure that you give it the effort. I mean, like you said, we're wanting the best. You're trying to give out $1 million. It's not it shouldn't be a fill out on your phone, swipe text, autocorrect, and submit. It should be something that is well thought out.
Jared, thanks for bringing that up. That's true. Like, I would procrastinate too, and then I was like, but yeah, I mean, Barbercheck warned against that too. He says, do it for you because it's a good reflection tool, and then it's your application for the award. We also have Chris Davis here tonight. Thanks for joining, Chris.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah, I had a question. Has Harbor Freight ever discussed like video entries? Because
we just covered that.
Oh, did you guys already talk? Am I late to the game here? Yeah, just writing is not my strong point when it, and I would probably say that it's probably not most shop teachers' strong point when it comes to, not that I don't know how to write, but like
Chris is good at selling.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah, he's got Richard Branson buying stand-up boards. I mean, this is you know, like he's
Oh, we got a new one.
validated.
We got-
Validated.
We got a new one. We got Kenny Chesney next year and Ty Pennington.
Okay,
That-
but now
Chris, Chris, that's really awesome. You know, yeah, as Ron mentioned, David asked it. You know, that was the first question. It's something that
Sorry.
we here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools have discussed and debated and gone back and forth on, but for a variety of reasons, right? Whether for judging perspective or for the ease of access for teachers, right? Some teachers aren't good with technology, right? They're not great film editors or film directors, and so we there's a pros and cons for each of these options, and it's something we do discuss.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But if you write the application and you mentioned that you and your classroom have sold things to, various entrepreneurs or various billionaires out there or various musicians, highly encourage you to talk about that. All right, that might be something to help you stand out, right? From other teachers out there.
Nice. If anybody hasn't followed Chris, follow him. Chris, put your Instagram in the chat right now, if you can. He's got some exciting stuff. It's really just beautiful craftsmanship. And then, he's kind of like, I don't know, Chris, I'm speaking about you, but it's funny because he's kind of like, he gives that rock star wood shop. It's not just like napkin holders. You know what I mean? like he adds a little flair to it, which is a necessary component, And I always
paddleboard, skateboard, snowboards.
Yeah. Oh, snowboards, really? Damn, I got to take his class.
We try to bring with it. That's for sure. Try to bring the fun, excitement, enthusiasm, and build just different stuff that other people are not normally building. Just to switch it up a little bit. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Highly encourage you to to talk about that. Talk about the unique things that your program is doing. That's and that goes across the board for each of you. And I think every classroom can say that they're doing something different or something unique, or every teacher can bring a different lens. And we're looking for teachers who bring the passion and who are willing to put in the hard work for the application itself. So yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Does other people have questions? Go ahead, you could just jump in there. So, now here's what I want to know.
Sure.
Can you tell us what some people have done with the money? I'm just curious.
Sure. I can talk about it in more general ways. I can't name specifics, but
and then I want to prep everybody here. Imagine you got $100,000 for your program. What would you do with it? Like, I would have to think about that. Like, what would you do with like $100,000 in your program? Like, man, you could get that machine you wanted.
So in terms of the tools, or in terms of the classroom support, people have used it anywhere from like a bunch of basic hand tools to a forklift, right? To fixing the plumbing in or the ventilation in their program.
Well, you can use it for anything, right?
Anything, yeah, right. So we don't tell you what to do, and as part of the foundation, we're not saying that you can only shop at Harbor Freight, right? Tools, right? Like, you can use that money. You can use that $35,000 or $75,000 and use it for whatever you think would best support your program. So I know some programs who are like, we're going to use it for marketing, right? So that they've used it to like build a giant sign outside their school to say, come check us out, come check out our program. This is
interesting. I never thought about that. So if you had extra money and you already have tools, but your problem is recruitment, you spent the money on an entrance sign or something like that. That would be really interesting. Yeah, that's well thought about.
Yeah, so we're not going to tell you what to use the money for. We just want to make sure that as long as it's used for your program. And then for the individual money, people have used it for their own, like, some people have bought, I think, like cars with it. Others have, used it for their retirement. Others have decided to take their family on a trip to Disney World, right? Like, It's up to them. Again, that's money that 30,000 or 15,000, like that's for you to decide how to spend it. And we'll be yeah, if you share the story with us, that's great, but we're not going to tell you how to use that money for sure.
Hey, let's go around and just give everybody a couple minutes of like, what would you do with the money? You know, like I don't even know what I would do yet. Like me personally, I think I would get a CNC milling machine and maybe combination lathe. More automation machining, I think, is what's missing from my program. And then training. Like I would love to go for like machining training. And then we don't have a proper lift. I would put a lift in. I mean, stuff like that, you know, that would eat up the money right there, but that would be so worth it, you know?
A good maid to come by your shop every week. Perfect.
Yeah,
you good maid to clean up your shop.
Oh, he's saying my place is a mess. The place is kind of a mess right now. We haven't been there in 7 months. So I'm just starting to clean it up now. I mean, you know. So let's go around. So let's see. Let's jump over to Brandon. I'll put you on the spot. What would you do with like $100,000 for your program?
And I would say the same thing. A CNC mill, maybe addition. Because, well, we need more space, so that could be, you know, I don't know if we can pass that by our district, but that would be nice.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I have a short ceiling and it's not a proper shop anyway, but there is some space right outside. Imagine if they built the other wall, we'd have a double. It would give us more room. That would be pretty cool. Nick, what would you do with $100,000?
Probably a wood CNC plasma table, probably a sawmill.
Oh yeah, there you go. Wood CNC right there. Yeah, that's cool.
Dude, that sawmill, Nick, you guys can make some serious money for the school, man. You just turned that $100,000 into $1 million.
What's the sawmill?
It's a charity. It's for the charity foundation.
What's the sawmill? Is that for like cutting lumber or actual pieces of trees down into lumber? Okay,
like a wood miser.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a big little rack, and it's got like a train, you know, like a rails that bring it in. That's pretty wild. Let's go to Winston. What do you think, man?
Oh, hey, I like the idea of the wood mill. It'd be great for around here, but this shop really needs a revamp of the weld shop. You know, new booths, more booths. I really would like a water jet for doing some heavy duty stainless steel, but they're pretty spendy, so that would be pretty cool. So
that's cool. Duke, what do you think? $100,000. What are you gonna do?
$100,000. I'm gonna go with a high tech shop dog. Gonna contact Boston Dynamics.
Oh
get
yeah,
one of
man!
Minis,
thing. Dude. Buy a robot. That's a great
Just gonna
idea.
follow me around the shop.
You'd be the first shop teacher with a robot.
They all have. You watch really scare everybody. Jesse James, all those guys. Ian from that other Full Throttle Garage. They all got shop dogs.
Oh yeah, shop dog, but a robot shop dog.
Yeah, high tech shop dog.
I never heard of that. It's so funny. That's really funny. Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, why can't we bring our dog into the shop? Like, I would get a dog if I could bring it to the shop. I don't know. Like, isn't that kind of what goes with a shop? Is like a dog? I don't know. You know. All right, let's see, Matt. What do you got? 100. Oh, there he's got it. Look, Brandon's got the dog right there. All right.
Which Matt you going for?
Oh, Van Arsdale. Van Arsdale.
Probably CNC mill, and maybe a Wazer, the small water jet. I'm tight on space in my shop, so I think a smaller one might be the best case there.
Get it on wheels and just move it around. You know, I don't. A Wazer is a water laser.
Yeah, but it's a small benchtop machine. I think it's probably 48 by like 36 overall. So it's pretty small, but it can do metal, glass. What was the other thing? It can do tile. So
wow, that's cool.
Desktop water jet.
Nice. Desktop water jet. Wow. So what's your size you could do? What's your
Well,
bed?
I don't have one, but
No,
I'm
but
looking for-
what's the bed like?
Laser.
I think
Oh,
they're
I
three
don't
by
know.
5. I was just watching the video.
What is it?
3 by 5, 3 feet by 5 feet.
Oh, that's
Okay.
pretty good. It's bigger than desktop. That's pretty cool. All right. Bloomy, what do you got? 100 grand, go for it. Wait,
Man.
let me guess. A crane.
Well, I put in the chat a skidster, or when I had the company, we had a telehandler, which is awesome, assuming you
that?
can get it. It's the forklift that extends telescopes. So you have the fork.
That's so you could do sheetrock and whatnot on top. Yeah,
No.
yeah, okay.
So,
No,
like you could send,
All-terrain
like you could
forklift.
set your trusses or send shingles, or so imagine a big forklift, but it booms, like it has a telescoping arm. That's a telehandler.
that's cool. That's cool.
A skidster, like Bobcat or something, would be nice because then you can get in your tight spots. It's one of those things that's always handy. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. It'd probably sit for me. It'd probably sit there and I'd just buy stuff randomly. Like we were very fortunate in that we just got retooled completely. So I just got 200 grand last year. So I don't know.
Wow. That's awesome. But
Yeah,
as a like if you were let's say you were a private contractor, like wouldn't a truck like with a crane, like with an arm, that bucket, wouldn't that help you? Or no, I don't know. Is that a tree company?
The telehandler, a smaller telehandler would probably be pretty sweet because, like I said, you can move in sheeting, moving lumber, booming trusses. It becomes really handy really quick.
That's cool.
A little bit
Like,
more versatile than a skid steer overall. As far as the material end of it.
Yeah, and skidsters are pretty cheap and easy to rent real quick or borrow.
Oh,
So,
now I see what you were looking at here.
yeah, one of those. We used to own one. I used to own one of them way back when. And
dude,
nice.
that'll reach over and grab whatever.
You almost need a dump truck or a dump trailer if you have a skid steer or excavator,
Yeah.
Kind of limited.
Oh man, imagine that.
And the thing is, you can get attachments for those that like articulate and truss attachments and person buckets and stuff and cages or whatever. So yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I got a random question for Tae. What if what you want is another teacher? Like where, let's say the district's kind of tight. I mean, they have money, but they don't want to, and like, can't you just hire another teacher?
That's I can't speak to that. I honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's up to different districts or schools, and that's maybe if there's so much excitement about you winning that the district or the school principal is like, yeah, we want to put more support towards it and get you an assistant or get you a coworker. That would be awesome. I think maybe winning the prize can help you leverage with the administration or with the district other support, right? So that might be like you now have an a prize-winning teacher in your school building down the hall, right? Like that's a great marketing tool for schools to have, right? Or a great a shiny thing to have. So I think that's for you to decide how to best leverage with your administration or district.
Yeah, that was always one of my goals is that, we bought some equipment. When I first got there, we like built up the shop a little bit because it was an old tired little auto shop that wasn't really, and my thing was always like, when are you guys going to hire another teacher? And they were like, that's not happening. That's not happening. And then I said one word that triggered just another teacher showing up. And I said the word robotics and they were like, ooh, robotics. And then all of a sudden they hired someone. I was like, yes, finally. And then luckily we got this wave of steam and that brought more teachers and it just kept going, So like, we're lucky we got more people now. Let's go to Connor. Connor, What would you do with this? Is fantasy land here. What would you do with $100 grand? I saw you put some monitors in. I mean, how big are these monitors, dude?
Big. It's a good question. Like, I think luckily, like Matt, we teach carpentry, so that's skill saws and impact drivers. So it's pretty cheap for us to buy some new tools. But what we're struggling with, and probably what we spend money on, is on AV equipment. So we're running. Our shop has 12 different teaching areas, probably running 150 students at any given time. So what's troubling right now is teaching people, at a distance, but even when we're back in person, it's one teacher to 25 to 30 people building. And I think if the teacher had, my dream is in every shop environment, you'd have big 75-inch TVs and then overhead cameras. So it's almost like you're on the cooking show, right?
Yeah.
So if you're how to, set up a saw or make small adjustments, you're setting up a bevel on a skill saw. If you could flip on that camera overhead and it punches up on those big TVs around you, then all 25 people can see you and not just the 4 people in the front. So for us, that's probably where my dream would be is on AV equipment or maybe iPads. So, you can take your iPad, turn it on camera mode, and then push it to the TV. So anything you're drawing on, or just you can set up your own overhead camera and do it that way. I probably put TVs in all 12 teaching environments. That's probably what I would do.
That is cool.
Hey, Connor, how about like a high-tech digital 3D scanner, not just the 3D camera?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, I want one of those. There's so much money. Those Leicas.
Oh, there's like 50 grand or something, aren't they? They're up there.
A lot of money, but man, yeah. But like you're saying, it's like a skid steer. I'd use it once a year and sit in a box, right? But it'd be dope. It'd be so cool to have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let me just take a second to highlight Connor and Matt Bloomquist. They just finished up. Tae, I don't know if you know this, but and everybody here, they just finished up this thing they call the wall assembly competition, and it's the second time they've done it. And we covered it last week. It was really good. It was a chance for students from around the world, I guess around the country, but no, probably around the world.
North America.
Yeah.
And let's see. And then what they had was like almost like a basketball tournament style Sweet 16. And you can actually check out the entries and what the judges' comments were. It's a really comprehensive website. Can you guys see it? I'm just pulling it up right here.
And that was all Connor.
Connor, you did so good with this. This was awesome.
Yeah,
it's loaded up
as a bracket, and it's graphic. So you can see our quarterfinals. All of the submissions are in PDF. All the judges, we made like the marking rubric, just pictures of their face, so you can see who gave you a 5 and a 4 and a 10. And then, so it makes the voting kind of personalized. And then judges can make feedback. So they just use colored stickies. And most of these people are all of them, all recognized, industry leaders in building. So even if you lose, it's like, I think, Tae, applying to your competition, it helps you kind of consider your thoughts and you write that application. And for them to just go through the process and get feedback from these people, for me, I think that's really worth more than winning, although there was cash involved. The feedback they got from some of these people, it's incredible. It's just incredible. So it was a fun thing to run. We just wrapped up last week, and a high school student, the youngest high school student with their Passive House certification in North America won. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, all the way. And then they're from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Queens. Yeah.
Connor, thanks for mentioning that. I think that's really meaningful to hear. Like, the money is great, but we want this to be an opportunity for teachers to reflect and figure out how to improve their classrooms, improve their own practices, but also like, what you write or what you share, maybe you could use that when you talk to middle school, parents, right? Like, why should their students join your program, right? Why should their kids, sign up for shop or sign up for auto? Like, especially in this college for all mindset, in this college for all mentality, it might be great to, it might help you figure out best ways to recruit or best ways to talk about your program.
Yeah, you basically write the brief, and we just went through this recently. Last year, like Matt, we wrote a grant. We got a lot of money through that grant, and this year I applied again. and I got next to nothing. And I was like, what did I do wrong? But what it forced me to do was write a massive application, which is now, the brief on this is what we needed and why. Here's the research we've done. Here's the letters of support. And that now becomes a document we can use to go to the college. And as you're saying, the school has money. They just have made a decision not to give it to me. And now I have a document that I can use to say, it organizes your thoughts, right, collectively as a group. It puts it on paper and it puts a business case to it. That's what my school and probably your schools need to hear. They'll give you funding if you can increase enrollment. They'll give you funding if you can consolidate your shop to half the size they can put another classroom in, right? It's all tied to that business case. And I think writing that application really helps you kind of put your thoughts on paper. So that's awesome.
That's cool. That's a good way of thinking about it. Before I forget, Connor, did you? I know that you recorded the judging, and I was trying to get a hold of this last time. Is this it right here? Right, if it's here, is this?
Yeah, yeah. Those are the two shows. So there's the kickoff show, and then there's a final show that was last week. Yeah, both of them are on Fine Home Building.
And is this it right here? Oh, this is the kickoff.
That would be the kickoff.
Okay.
So that's when we launched the competition, I think, a month ago. And then the second link, I think, on that page. And I just haven't updated the wallassembly.com website yet. But those videos will then live on that site pretty soon.
Where's the second link? Is it? Oh,
I put it. If anybody's
here we go.
I put it in the email.
Oh, it's on our newsletter. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
it. Was on Fine Home Building.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's on the website soon.
Okay.
Probably
No problem.
You just end of term, and
No
it's,
problem.
wild.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
Nice.
I'm glad you're excited about it. Yeah, it was really fun to do. And it's just I think it's so cool to see a high school student beat out architectural colleges and universities with formal architectural programs and building science programs. One of them has a dad who's a kick-ass architect, and I know probably helped them, and a high school students still beat them. So
nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Let's switch gears back to. Did I miss anybody for asking? What would you do with the money? Let me see. Oh, David Cornitzer, what would you do? $100,000.
All right, so I'm a little bit different than you guys because I'm not really a shop teacher. I'm an anatomy teacher, so I would probably buy an SLA 3D printer, a nice big size industrial, size, definitely a CNC milling machine. But no, yeah, again, I think I would actually go a little more science and try to get the kid. Again, I'm not 100% sure yet, but yeah,
SLA, you could print out your own skeleton with SLA or something.
That's the idea, but also, last year I had the kids invent physical therapy equipment, so that brings the engineering in, and
that's cool.
It's a tough question though.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
I don't know what I would do for the program.
David, have you seen that we have one? We're like us, and like the only other place in maybe the Midwest is like Chicago at a medical college. We have a table, and it pulls up actual cadavers that's been donated to science or animals, and it's like a 3D thing. Like it's wild. But you look down at this table, it looks like an operating table, and like the body is there, and you can.
Oh my god! So I would spend it on that. That's what I would spend it on then. Right
yeah,
there.
so you said anatomy. I cannot think what the scientific word is for that thing, but it is insane.
Look that up. You said your school has it?
Yeah, our high school has it in our
What high
STEM
school is
lab.
it again? Sorry.
It's Taylorville High School in Taylorville, Illinois. Taylorville. If I can find it, if I can find a picture or something, I'll put it in the chat for you.
That'll be awesome. Thank you.
But it's insane. And I think they do animals with it because we're rural, so we have a really good FFA ag program and ag science program.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But it's awesome. Like real life cadavers. There's like a dead body there, I think you like cut it open and stuff. And like you can peel back the skin and the whole. You keep going down the layers.
God.
Like the veins, the muscles, the tissue.
That's unbelievable.
Down to the skeleton. I think. Yeah, I'll try to find it for you.
Please. And then Ron, you'll definitely let me know.
Yeah. You guys can connect. It's great. That's awesome. Chris, you got a hand up?
Well, I was just gonna say what I was spending the money on.
Yeah, what are you gonna spend the money on?
Well, if I couldn't buy like a wake setter jet boat to go wakeboarding, take the kids wakeboarding or like something like that, or take them on like field trips to go climb mountains or surfing out in Hawaii or something, then I would probably buy a 5-foot by 12-foot laser cutter because the skins take an enormous amount of time to do them by hand. But I would definitely go with a wake boat or like some sort of experiences first if I could.
That's awesome. You're buying a power boat. They're gonna tow the kids.
Absolutely. You gotta test the products you make to make sure they're quality before you put them out.
It's true. Maybe I should get like I should get like an F-350 with a trailer so we could tow it, like build race cars and tow it to the track. That would be amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, go big, like I guess I'm like, oh, get another machine. Nah, dude, let's get out of the shop. See, I like David's got the energy, man. He's got the energy.
I tell you, that will draw some excitement to your program for sure. You'll get kids to sign up. Absolutely. You'll get new kids in there.
That is
hell
funny.
yeah. Dude, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's funny.
One of my college professors for one of the design studios, you could sign up and he takes you sailing over the summer semester and you learn how to design boat interiors and stuff. And one of the people or two girls that were in the program when I was there and took that class ended up getting internships or jobs or something with like one of the top like yacht boat makers or something in the country. It was insane.
Wow. That's
he
awesome.
loved sailing, so he took the kids, he took a studio class of like, I don't know, 8 kids sailing for the summer, and they lived on a sailboat and learned how to design and the boat.
I'm surprised they don't do more boat. I'm like, the Hudson for me is like literally you can see like when what's his name? When Sully landed his plane, we saw it. Like it was like, oh yeah, it's like right there. I got calls. People were like, dude, go outside because I think there's a guy landing a plane. Somebody landed a plane in the Hudson. I'm like, what? So I ran out there, But like I'm surprised there's not more boating going on with the Hudson right there. But that's a cool project idea, build up something that you could take out with you, or just for inspiration is listen, the shop, the machines, they'll collect dust or you'll use them, but either way, you want to build excitement. They only got them for like a year or two, and you got them for a limited amount of time, so you want to get them hooked on engineering and craftsmanship, and that's a lifelong inspiration. Cool. Let's see. Did we get everybody who had something they wanted to do? Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Right. So going back to Tae, is there anything else you're thinking about that we missed about this contest? What else is going on here?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any further questions or
can you tell us more about the conferences? Because you said before COVID you brought everybody together. What was that like?
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
So, again, we host an institute called Let's Build It, right? It's a part networking opportunity for our prize-winning teachers. It's part professional development. It's just part hanging out, right? For them to get to meet each other, right? I think someone mentioned about how shop teachers are often just, by themselves, right? So this is an opportunity for these other trades teachers across the country to meet each other and to, just talk shop, right? But also for them to think about how they can improve their classrooms, how they can learn from each other, but also come up with pilot projects that they would want to launch and do for their own programs or for other programs. So the Summer Institute called Let's Build It. This year, right, this past year, we've had to do a virtual one. And we're hoping in future years to bring people back together in person again. But it's for the prize winning teachers. But, what we've learned through this pandemic, right, is that there's so much need for community, all right, and there's so much need and so much desire for that. So we're going to be hosting a webinar for skilled trades teachers to learn more about Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, to learn more about the prize for teaching.
When is that happening?
And it's going to be in early May, right? So
Okay.
if you go to harborfreighttoolsforschools.org and join our email network, you'll get the earliest updates then. So we're planning for early May for this gathering, and yeah, we're excited to bring more teachers together.
That's cool. Now, I got a question. You now have a lot of data because you got 5 years. You got a network. You have the respect of the industry. You do these conferences where I know Barbercheck told me it was pretty in depth, like asking really good questions about how to be the most effective teacher and what programs and whatnot. Is there a bigger arching goal in the future? Maybe program recommendations or something like that? Because it seems like I don't know anybody else that's doing this kind of research. Sure, there's grant money, this and that, whatever, but it seems like you guys are pulling the shop teachers back up, which is, every shop teacher's like this, but you're pulling from the top, which is helping us. It's pretty amazing.
That's a great question. Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, was founded out of a deep belief and in the importance of learning with one's hands, heads, and hearts, right, along with tools to build, maintain, repair, and do amazing things, right? It came out of a deep respect from Eric Schmidt, right, who is the Harbor Freight Tools owner and founder, as well as the founder of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools and of the Schmidt Foundation. It came out of a deep respect by him of all that you do, right, of skilled trades teachers do each and every day. All right, he's had a skilled trades teacher really impact him and really helped inspire and motivate him in his life. So it comes out of a deep belief and respect for everything you all do. So because of that, we're in this for the long haul, right? This isn't meant to be a marketing effort. This isn't meant to be just a one and done, right? All of our initiatives are meant for, to show deep and long-term investment in the trades, right? In skilled trades education in public high schools across the country. And by showing the importance of what you do, right, in the communities and in our country, right? And we believe that these jobs or this education, these classes help provide for students to get jobs and opportunities to advance in their own lives and, in their families and in their communities, and lift everything up and have a workforce that our country desperately needs in this time.
Nice. Yeah, and a lot of people talk about the skills gap, and there's they can't find anybody to do the work. But also, like for instance, I always go back to this one story where a kid comes in my room and he took my intro class, and now he's going to take I wanted him to take the advanced class because I thought he was pretty good. And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. G. I can't take your class." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, I'm going into medical, so I have to go take these AP classes." So I said to him, "Okay, so let me get this straight. You're going to graduate in a couple years. They already have robots walking around hospitals. They already got robotic surgery, and every machine in in a hospital or in a doctor's office is kind of like a programmed robot. And then you have these skilled people operating the machines. Can you imagine, just think about the machines they have, MRIs and all this stuff and whatnot, and the Da Vinci robot." And I said, "So you're telling me you'd rather take stuff like an AP class that you could probably study on your own, or do you want to use hands-on work to learn, to actually put apply your knowledge and learn engineering?" And he thought about it. He thought about it, and he actually changed his mind, and he took my class. And this is a couple years later, and he doesn't regret it. I spoke to him. I said, "You sure?" Like, I feel bad I steered you a little bit. He's like, "No, this is This is way better, you know.
Well, that's awesome. I think we want to help students find their passions, right? Whether that's in welding or in automotive, right? Like what we've seen is that there's some kids who really love history or learning about Catcher in the Rye, and that's great, right? And then there's other students who love fixing cars and and working with torches to weld things or working with their hands to build homes. And we want to show that's important too, right? That it's not just about everyone getting to college, right? Like the college for all mentality. We want to show that these trades, these jobs, these opportunities are really important and essential, right? And help build the backbone of our country and help develop the workforce that our country needs, right? That we've talked about. But this also really comes out of a deep respect, and belief that skilled trades teachers are heroes, right? Like we know the term heroes is used a lot.
That's right.
Right. But what we believe is that what the teachers do each and every day in their classrooms is truly heroic and truly admirable. And all the more so for the shop teachers and skilled trades teachers who do it often without a lot of, praise or, a lot of respect or glowing admiration. And we're trying to show that we're trying to show the opposite and lift these teachers up into the spotlight.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you? Yeah, because like you're a super nice guy. We spoke 2 years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I think you're on top of it. Like you're not just going through the motions. Seems like you're really into it. You know your topic, and I'm sure you've met so many shop teachers. It's kind of probably been very interesting to. You probably have a pretty good landscape of what this industry is doing.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, that's another question. But let's get to like, how did you find Harbor Freight Tools for Schools? Where did you like? Were you in a different industry, or what happened?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I'm originally from Los Angeles, and then I I grew up here and I'm raised here, and then I went off to college and I actually studied theology, right? And I was thinking about maybe going to be like college professor or maybe pursuing being a priest, right? In the Catholic Church. So I was considering those options, but then I ultimately decided to become a high school theology teacher and a high school social studies teacher. And then so I taught high school on the East Coast for a few years, and then I moved back to Los Angeles.
Where in the East Coast?
In Delaware.
Okay. All right.
So I taught in Delaware for a few years, and then I came back to Los Angeles, and I taught in middle school. All right, in a middle school social studies religion teacher, and I
have some teaching background.
Yeah, so I have a teaching background. I primarily have a teaching background.
Yeah,
and I decided that while I can be a teacher, I can serve one classroom in front of me, and that's really important, really valuable. But I had a desire to want to impact classrooms across the country. So I went to UCLA. I got my master's in public policy. And when I was graduating, I went to one of my professors for office hours. And I was telling him about my dream of impacting classrooms across the country. And he was like, that's cool, because I just received an email from my colleague and they're starting up Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Do you want to see this?
Wow.
And sent me the job description, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I applied for it, and I'm actually the first full-time employee of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Nice. So our team is small but mighty, but yeah, I'm actually the first full-time employee, and I work with some really amazing people on this
You're
initiative.
getting claps and thumbs up all across the board here.
Thank you very much. And
yeah, I know you've done a lot of work. This is this is a good endeavor right here.
Thank you. So yeah, I've been part of the team since 2016, and it's been my longest professional opportunity, and it's been really, really amazing and worthwhile to help classrooms. Like probably my favorite day of the whole year is like when we announce the winners and seeing the teachers, well up with emotion or tears, or try to remain as stoic as possible. But just seeing them have joy and seeing their classrooms cheer for them, their families cheer for them, it makes all the hard work worth it for sure.
Wow, that's cool. And this other question. Oh, first of all, if anybody's got a beer, you got to, let's, there you go, Nick. Perfect timing. He went for a beer, and I had one ready. There you go, Nick.
Awesome.
Anybody else? Hey, cheers! Cheers to Harbor Freight Tools for Schools and hey, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have a beer with me right now, but I'll do an honorary cheers. Thank you so much.
All right. Damn, that's good. This is an IPA. I don't know whose this is. You ever had one of these? Let's see. You guys drinking IPA? Look, they got Lincoln on there. That's
Yeah, it's got Abraham Lincoln on there. Very impressive.
I got to tune in from home next time.
Is it from Illinois?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tune in from. Yeah, we kick back. This is good. All right. I got this follow-up question. So
for sure,
and I thought of it when I was thinking about your background. Is that so? What does the landscape look like? Like you have eyes on the country right now. Like, what does this look like to you? Because, like, from my point of view, because we've been doing this Shop Class podcast. We've been actually doing it for like 4 or 5 years, but we only started doing the Wednesday night meetings when COVID hit. And what I see is like there are programs that are well funded with really passionate teachers, and then there are programs that are underfunded with passionate teachers, and it's like from town to town. It could vary as much as like millions of dollars,
Sure.
And it's so interesting to see what people do. And some people are very into craftsmanship. Some people are into the trades. Some people are into engineering. And it's just kind of interesting. The landscape, is really diverse, but the main thing is that the people that are on here are probably like survivors and thriving, whereas there's a lot of programs probably getting closed. Maybe they didn't find out about us yet or about your program. So there's some corner cases that are probably not getting the attention or help they probably need. But I don't know. What do you think of the landscape? What are you seeing?
That's a great question. So many great questions on this podcast. We here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools actually did some research, some landscape research on the state of skilled trades education in the country. Let me put the link in the chat. And if you want to, so it's at our Harbor Freight Tools for Schools website. But let me pull this up real quick. So yeah, let's see.
Oh yeah, Winston had to go, but that was cool that he was here. Winston's from South Alaska.
Yeah.
What? Like
he may be farther north than Connor.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is incredible.
For sure. So
that is some reach. Oh, here, I got your link.
Yeah, so we did the research here. We did public opinion research as well as the landscape. What's the state of career tech education? What's the state of skilled trades education? Feel free to take a look at these work steps. So again, this is just
you did the hard work for me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. So it's just another way to show that we're in this for the long term, right? We're in it to make deep investments. So you can see that here. But yeah, I think you're right? Like the experiences are so diverse, right? Like there are some districts, some states that are really investing heavily into this, right? Like Oklahoma, we can see that like with their district career and tech centers, right? Like a lot of them are state of the art. There's some great pockets here and there, right? And we noticed that through our applications, there are very underfunded areas, right? With high free and reduced lunch percentages, right? Or so yeah, I would say the state of skilled trades education it really depends, right? It depends on where you are. And what we're trying to do is trying to kind of level the playing field, like award excellence, but also, support programs in need, right? And oftentimes they can be both. It depends on the teacher. We know that what happens in the classroom is largely, the quality and the voice and the experience of the teacher. And we're trying to help build a pipeline of more skilled trades teachers and help build a pipeline of more students. So, we're trying. We're trying out a lot of different things. We're trying to see what works, but yeah, we're in it for the long haul. That's for sure.
Hey, I got to tell you something.
Yes, Ross.
I did not know that you had this kind of data. Let me tell you where this is valuable. Every time I jump on the New Jersey Tech Ed Association conference calls, all they talk about, and it's almost like a repeated Groundhog Day, is that they don't have enough teachers. And so there's so many openings, but they can't fill the openings, and then the school will just close the opening. So this is a repeated situation. In New Jersey, there's only one school that graduates shop teachers. And then it's midway down the state. It's close to Trenton. So they're not coming up by me. Like, I tried to recruit them because we had an opening and we couldn't. So we have to go alternate route. I am alternate route. A lot of teachers are alternate route. And so that's an interesting piece of the puzzle to know this, is that they're having trouble recruiting the teachers. And this report would probably help them better identify maybe some of the issues. The other part to this, and we'll go back to that, but the other part of this is that if you know the numbers and you had a product or service that you wanted to sell to the teachers to make their program better, this would be good data. Like, for instance,
sure.
Yeah. So this is a little bit selfish, but I have a product I'm working on that it just makes it easier to teach the small engine. It's a niche market, but I don't have any numbers. So I don't know how many teachers actually teach small engines, and then of those people who would need my little product that makes it easier. It's like a mounting system. But that data would be valuable to educators that want to branch out and do independent stuff, like help out new teachers or come up with programs or sell products or services that then would help them. You know what I mean? So this is good data. I'm going to go through this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying about this?
Yeah. So, I talk about the public opinion research, like, it includes data like what are parents' perspectives about having their students be part of the trades classrooms. What are the voters' perspectives? What we see is that there's strong consensus in that that people, and voters and students really see these opportunities as valuable. And we hope that these percentages, these data, this information can help teachers talk about their programs, can help market their programs to their administration, to districts, about what are communities looking for. So, feel free to take a look. We have long form of the research. We have a summary with some of like the bigger data points.
Oh yeah.
We encourage you to take a look at them and see what you can do
executive summary
for your program.
Is this the executive summary here?
Yeah, that's the executive summary. We commissioned 2 reports, right? As I mentioned, one is a landscape research and the other is public opinion. And there's executive summaries for both. You can see there's infographics. You take a look and see what works best for you.
Here's the key findings. Just as an example, high school skilled trade education offers students high value opportunities. Students participating in skilled trades classes can not only gain a valuable skill, trade skills and work experience, also, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to go through this. What'd be interesting is maybe we'll take like I think we might take one of, obviously I'll just throw it up there now, but I think I might take one of the shop class podcasts to go through this because if you want to, if you're not busy, we could jump on again, because this is interesting. Here's your numbers. We don't have any numbers, so like, when someone says, let's say it would help the individual teacher as well, not just what I was proposing before, which is the, opportunities for entrepreneurship. But if you're a shop teacher and your supervisor says, hey, we can't order that machine, or hey, we're going to cut back on or they say, oh, we don't want to hire another teacher because we just don't have it in the budget or whatever. You can point to the data. There we go. You could point to the data and say, actually, hiring shop teachers is on the rise, or actually the parents want this, or actually industry is asking for it.
Exactly.
And then you could use this, but I don't think that, I mean, I would definitely use this information because there it is. There's the numbers, and you don't need to have like an opinion argument, you know?
Yeah, Ron, that's a great point. One of my colleagues who ran point on this, I could talk with her about it, and we can help schedule this, like based on what your schedule is like. And yeah, she can talk about this further. But
oh, that'd be great.
So I would just say, would happy to connect, further about it. Just we could talk, offline after this, wonderful meeting. But yeah, just I just wanted to help reiterate that, like, Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, right, and the Smith Foundation are really deeply invested in trades education and deeply respect what you all do and view you all to be heroes. So, like, apply for the prize, take a look at our website, see what's on there, join our social media handles, join our email network, and see what we can do for each other, see how we can collaborate.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, we could stop the recording here. I think that was pretty good coverage. Is any last questions from anybody in the group, and then we'll do like our casual situation afterwards. Usually we just do recording, and then when we stop the recording, we just whatever hang out. But I would like to schedule something to go over that data. I think that's the important stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
anybody got any questions left before Tae regarding this?
Yeah, this is 5 years into it. You ever think about dropping it down to the middle schools as well?
That's a great question, Duke. That is something we've debated and discussed a lot. But right now, we know there's great need everywhere, and we know that there's so many people and classrooms that could use support. But right now, our focus is on public high schools, right? And that's where we're gonna focus on, and that's where we focus on the last 5 years, and in the future we'll see. We'll continue to discuss, and we'll continue to monitor the landscape. But right now, our focus is on U.S. public high schools. But to be honest with you, I am a middle school teacher, right? I taught high school and I taught middle school, and I'm a big believer in that. Middle school years are so important and are really formative, and that we have really good discussions about high school and or middle school a lot in our team. So yeah, that is something we do discuss.
There is some, I don't know what the data is, but it's true. They're kind of a little more moldable when they're in middle school. If you can inspire them to get into engineering back then, they're going to continue it later, whereas if they hit the high school without a shop teacher, it's very difficult because I have to teach them like the ruler, like fractions of an inch. Because in my school district, we didn't have a shop teacher for a while. Now we do. Not a shop teacher, but they have like a STEM program. But it was missing. And because of that, when the kids got to me, oh man, I enjoy it. I teach them the pizza pie as a way of dividing up the ruler and all that stuff. But it's like, yeah, if they already knew that, we could go faster,
Sure. One other thing I do want to add with the middle schools is, I'm part of the foundation, right? But Harbor Freight Tools, the company, does donate gift cards, HFT gift cards to K through 12 programs of all different types, including middle schools. Let me put the link in the chat where you can request a donation of a gift card, right? If that's something that if you're interested in. So let me put that link in for you as well.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this is another way Harbor Freight Tools or that Eric wants to give back is through gift cards to various organizations, including K through 12 public school programs. And take a look there.
All right, cool. Thanks.
That's awesome.
No, thank you, Duke. So
Hey, Tay, yeah.
yeah, go on.
Is there, is there a Canadian equivalent, Princess Auto tools for schools?
Can you say that again, please?
Is there a Canadian equivalent, Princess Auto tools for schools? Is that one of your divisions, like the Canadian arm?
No, our focus is just in the U.S. To be honest,
Yeah.
We don't have an international or multinational reach yet, but
Gotcha.
we're a separate entity then.
Gotcha.
From that organization.
Gotcha.
I had a real quick question.
Sure.
Does it have to be, and this was a few years ago, a 501c3 that it's donated to, or is it just the school? Because I ran into an issue with a Bosch Tools grant a few years ago. I lost $700 because it was a school, not a 501c3.
Oh, so the funds would go to the school. The public, it has to be a public high school, right? The funds are run through the foundation. So, say you win one of the 15 prizes, the $35K would go towards the school, and $15,000 would go towards yourself, right? And then if you win one of the 3 grand prizes, $70,000 goes towards your school, and $30,000 goes towards yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, good question. Anybody else got any questions for the boss there?
Definitely not the boss, but just happy to help. And
I got a question.
Yeah, for sure, Jared.
What tips, maybe tricks, suggestions do you have as you fill out the application process? You kind of went over it a little bit, I guess, but maybe in the last closing remarks on what a teacher should try and highlight or focus on to give them maybe a standout edge or something like that, whatever. Like I said, I've done it a few times, and there's been other teachers in my state who have gotten to the finals, and I said, well, how'd you do it? What'd you do? And it's that, and kind of talked. I'm like, all right, that's what I did. Huh. All right. I know there's a lot of applicants. And so,
yeah. So
what do you do to try and stand out, I guess?
That's a great question. I think that's a great question. Yeah, like I can't give away. I can't give. I can't tell you how to write your application specifically. What I can say is that applications that do well tend to have written a lot. So I will say this: like, we have a maximum character count, and overall, right? Every question response is 2,000 characters max, right? But we also have like a minimum character count that an application must be at least 5,000 characters or more. So what I would say is that the more you write, the more you share, the more of a picture you're able to paint of what happens in your classroom, the better our judges are able to get a sense of who you are, what you do, and how you stand out from other teachers, right? So if you're doing a really cool, unique project, whether that's community service or like a Halloween, a project, or building a home or tiny home, and you sell that, talk about that, right? Like, and then talk about the experience your students went in a really in-depth way, right? And if you can, the more of a picture you're able to paint, the better. What I would also say is what really distinguishes applications is the engagement with the learning modules, right? With the video and with the reading, right? Like, the applications who really take time to watch it, get some of the best practices, and figure out how they can apply that creatively or comprehensively into their program are what distinguishes the top 50 finalists and then the 18 winners ultimately. So that's what I would say about that. Like, the writing styles or the prose of our winners drastically differs based on the winners. But what I can say is the applications that share a lot, right, or who put in the work to write a lot, and are willing to engage with the learning modules, do well. And then lastly, what I would say are applicants, Ron mentioned this a lot, like that provide data and results, right? Like if you have impressive graduation rates, share that, right? Like talk about that. Like, or if talk about the number of students who go on to the trades, talk about the number of trades who go on to the military, talk about the number of students who go on to college, right? Like share that rather than just being like, oh, my students do great things afterwards. Like anyone can write that, right? But the applications that do well are the ones who, who engage with learning modules, who share a lot, and then share specific things that they do or that their program produces.
That sounds good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jared. No, that's
Good
great.
question. Good question, Jared. Thanks.
Yeah, we're not necessarily looking for like Shakespeare level prose, right, or poetry, right? Like you don't need to like talk about the beauty of welding, right? Like, or the beauty of fixing. You can.
It's so beautiful,
right? Like the sparks that fly. Like we're not like you can talk about that, but it's also share as much as possible. I would say brag about yourself. I know that's challenging for a lot of teachers or a lot of trade teachers, but really, in some ways, overshare up to the character count as much as possible.
Nice. Cool. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to jump in and add? Okay. Shop teachers that are quiet? Nah.
Yeah. So I have to get going soon, but I just want to say applications are due May 21st, right? Again, please visit hftforschoolsprize.org, to begin your application. There's an email on there to feel free to reach out to us, but I just want to end today by saying, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for all you do, and looking forward to receiving your applications.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for, I know it was last minute. I actually planned it and then I forgot to reach out to you. Barbercheck suggested reaching out to you. So I really appreciate you, jumping on tonight last minute. And I think it's important to promote this, whether you win or not. I think it's good to participate in this community. So I really appreciate that you're inspiring shop teachers to get excited about that their program is bigger than just their classroom,
For sure.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for having it. So I'll end the recording here, but we'll hang out. And then Tae, if you got to go, it's okay. And we'll talk soon.
For sure. Thank you all.
Right. Okay.